Spore was released in 2008 by Maxis. Despite being a revolutionary game worthy in many aspects of heavy praise, I feel it's let down by some of the things that make it unique. Not so much by the scope of the game, but more so that some of the stages seem better thought out than others. The game is played in several stages, following a species you design from the formation of life in the cell stage to extending out into the universe in the final stage of the game, and is remarkable in that it covers a wide range of styles of gameplay, and for the most part it does this pretty well, if simplistically. The first stage is the cell stage, and this is without doubt my favourite. I would genuinely love a version of the game that just kept to this style. You start out as a very basic multicellular organism and either eat your way to the top of the food chain, flee from everything in sight while scavenging for plants, or try to do both. You evolve your body as you play, growing bigger and stronger as the world changes around you. I generally like to play as carnivores as they are the closest fitting to my lifestyle, though omnivore is really the best of both worlds. Eventually you grow to the point where you can swim to land and you enter the secondary stage or creature stage. This feels like a strange combination of RPG and first-person shooter, and you advance your species by finding remains, fighting with local creatures or making friends with them. The stage is a bit weird for me because whilst I love fighting and ganking my way to the top, being friendly is genuinely the best approach. These first two stages are vaguely reminiscent of Evo, Search for Eden, which also features you growing from a simple life form into one of the stronger beings on the planet. The third stage is the tribal stage. While some people can probably play the friendly vegan pacifist route, I like to fight my way to the top against other neighbouring tribes, as I find this is generally the most intense way to play. Peaceful interactions let the stage down, as I feel it makes things too easy. So war it must be. Nothing beats the simple thrill of trying to survive while being repeatedly raided by people, who are often tougher than you. Then, when you raid someone else, the animals steal your food and kill your babies. It's pretty damn hard. But that's what makes the tribal stage pretty good. The fourth stage, or civilization stage, is pretty much awful. The combat is far too basic and unnecessarily drawn out, resulting in a game that's only feasibly won with economic means. And if you don't grow like lightning, by hell are you going to feel it. You can still win by buying your way to victory, but it feels cheap. And it also feels like you cannot win if combat is the goal. For a violent and sociopathic player like myself, this is not a good stage. The fifth stage is the space age, allowing you to venture out into the vastness of space itself. You can do a few really cool things like abducting critters and visiting strange new worlds, expanding out and destroying empires, but the less said about this one is better. It's better to just play it. Overall, I rate Spore very highly. Its design is exceptional and it really opens itself out to being a fun and enjoyable game. What lets it down is that the best stages are really the first stage and the last stage by far. Growing up as a small critter in the cell stage and surviving feels amazing, and it's a whole lot of fun, followed by the adventures on land which make up the creature stage. I didn't really enjoy that one this much, though it's still definitely interesting. The tribal stage can feel overwhelming when you're getting attacked on all sides, and I feel this was possibly my fault for playing the game on hard mode, but it's still an enjoyable stage. The civilization stage, though, is definitely the most disappointing, as it just feels like a relentless stalemate, and if you don't advance quickly you can get caught up in a never-ending cycle for hours until you bribe your way to victory, which I think is just a cheap way to win. The space stage is literally a whole new universe and offers so much. It's also quite amusing in its own way because you get to abduct people in much the same way as you may have seen other life forms abducted in the previous stages that you've played. The game is full of strengths, and while I didn't enjoy the middle part so much, it's definitely something a lot of other people will enjoy. The evolution of a race from its most primordial to its voyage to the stars is something Spore captures beautifully, and it's definitely worth playing. Due to the way that the game works, there is really something out there for everyone, and if you don't like one stage you will definitely love another. For its time, Spore was a step above most other games, and it's easy to see why. The level of design and complexity is superb. What lets the game down is, I feel that some stages, especially the civilization stage, lack the scope and design that makes the other stages so good. Mind you, this is just one lackluster part of a game that is overwhelmingly good and positive. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you've never played Spore, it's definitely worth checking out. No matter what kind of games you like, there is probably something here for you.